Welcome to Our Paramotor Nation. Tonight's show is sponsored by Wisconsin Flight Sports. They make it affordable and accessible for you to get your paramotor training. They are stocked with SkyMax paramotors, one of the best paramotors available, and they are ready to be shipped to you today. Wisconsin Flight Sports has just announced a special class in Gulf Shore, Alabama, February 12th through the 21st. Go to their website for more details. Check out Paraswag USA for your complete powered paragliding gear, Source providing you with the new Rebel 2 RS paramotor, as well as other gear and accessories. JK Custom Carves is a father and daughter run small business taking your vision and immortalizing it forever on wood, plastic, or aluminum. With extremely affordable pricing, this creation makes a great gift and trophy for any paramotor enthusiast. Find JK Custom Carves on Facebook or click on their link on the Our Paramotor Nation website. iFly Indiana provides USPPA certified powered paragliding training on their equipment or on yours. Full-time classes are 7 to 9 days. Part-time classes are also available. Come out to Indiana and see how beautiful it can be to train. Take the next big step in your paramotor training at Skylab Paramotor SIV. Here, paramotor pilots of all skill levels will learn collapse recovery and advanced maneuvers. One-Up Adventures and ParamotorProps.com. Come share their passion for flight on adventure trips around the world. Additionally, they are a supplier of carbon fiber propellers in the U.S. at extremely low prices and have become a leader in the country for getting tandem training and exemptions. FlyMyPPG offers a full-service paramotor training experience with 3 on-site instructors and class sizes limited to 6 students, all on a beautiful private 90-acre airport. FlyMyPPG offers on-site lodging and RV camping. Space is limited, so don't wait to make your reservation. And don't miss the upcoming scheduled classes combining the efforts of One-Up Adventures and FlyMyPPG at Wauchula Airport, January 23rd through the 31st, February 20th through the 28th, and March 20th through the 28th. Check out their websites to get your spot before they are filled. More than just soap, Charlie Soap has all-natural laundry detergents and household cleaners like no others. They are a supporter of Resurgence PPG. Get all the natural cleaning supplies you need at charliesoap.com. Celebrating their 10th anniversary, the team at FlyPPG Discovered Powered Paragliding has helped people from around the world get into our great sport. They are the Midwest importers and distributors of adventure paramotors, trikes, and wings. Aviator Paramotor is a cornerstone for paramotor training while offering its students some of the top paramotoring equipment. With 2 locations in beautiful Florida, class availability has never been more convenient. With raving reviews, Lone Star Paramotor has become one of the most sought-out paramotor schools in the South, near San Antonio, Texas, offering foot launching and trike training classes and much more. Light up the skies with PPG lights and make one heck of an impression with countless patterns and colors on your paramotor. No aircraft can miss seeing you when you are flying at twilight with PPG lights. Nebraska Paramotor strives to be a central resource hub for the community training just southeast of Springfield, Nebraska. They will help you select the best paramotor, glider, and other accessories suited for your flying style. Wicked Wings logo can help you have a one-of-a-kind custom glider with one or multiple colors on your logo. Get all the information you need to order your logo today on the Our Paramotor Nation website. That's www.ourparamotornation.com. And while you're there, check out Our Paramotor Nation's upcoming shows, watch our past shows, and visit all of our sponsors and find out much more. And now, let's get started with Our Paramotor Nation.
What is up, everybody in Our Paramotor Nation? How are you doing tonight? Welcome back to the show. It's Super Bowl Sunday, which means not too much for paramotor pilots because most of us don't care about football unless you're a Cleveland Browns fan. As you can see, I don't have my studio up and running tonight. You might hear some people running up and down the stairs. I just moved this weekend into my new house. Very excited, but very exhausted too. But I want to first of all introduce to you our first co-host, John Anthony Ripa is here. Hey, John, how is Florida, my friend?
Oh, you know, Florida's beautiful. Hello, everybody.
So good to see you, sir. So good to see you. And also from the great state of Texas, my other friend there, Dave Anthony Ruff is here. What's up, Dave?
What up? What's going on, buddy?
Oh, not too much, man. You guys are looking spiffy tonight. How about we get right to our guest? He's returning back to the show another time. He's been on a couple times, but he's got a lot to talk about tonight. Greg is here. How are you, Greg?
Hey, guys.
Hey.
Can you see me okay?
We see you fine. You don't look the same as you normally do.
Something's wrong.
What are you guys wearing on your heads? You look ridiculous.
Oh, man. You know what? Guys, I told you this is a bad idea.
Oh, that's a better idea. It's your buff. You wear the buff thing, right? Look, this is
Told
even
you.
your country's buff.
Actually, I really like that one. That's very cool.
All right. Well, I mean, I can always go back to my go-to, my Resurgence PPG hat.
Yeah. There you
Are
go.
we done with the buffs?
I
I
guess
think
we're
so.
done with the buffs.
I think
We
I
did
think we're
like
done with the
buffs.
gag.
With the buffs.
We're done with the
Actually,
gag as well.
we're kind of done with the buffs because here's what we're going to do tonight. There's 38 people watching right now. It is Super Bowl Sunday. By the way, Greg, what do you think about football? Do you like football?
Football's great. Yeah. Manchester United, good team.
Never mind. Different football. That's okay. We're talking about the
You
real
call that rugby or something?
something.
Yeah.
But because Greg Anthony, usually we see him in a buff. Tonight, we're going to give away 2 buffs. We're going to do one mid-show on the wheel. Dave's going to be putting names in the chat. So we got 2 buffs here because it's Greg Anthony Harris night. And these are from Fly My PPG. So we will be giving these away tonight to 2 lucky winners. All right?
That's
so we're
awesome.
going to have some fun tonight. Greg was first on the show back on November 14th. That was 2019, and it so happened to be the day that he made his very first flight. It was fun because back then he was just making all these videos about dreaming about getting into paramotoring, and then he was on the show the day that he made his very first flight, which was great. If you are not subscribed to Greg Anthony Harris's YouTube channel, I'm sure someone can put it in the chat. Most people are. He makes, in my opinion, and I'm going to say it now, and there's some great people that make videos out there. He makes the most cinematic, beautiful paramotoring videos out there, and he's had a huge since what's about not even a year and a half. He's had so much history. We're going to get into that in just a second about what's been going on and the places he's been through this beautiful thing that we have, which is called paramotoring. I know some questions are already coming up at the chat. I just looked down. I saw Mr. O'Glee already has a question, so if one of you can put it in.
Hey, Kyle's here. Nice.
Yeah, Kyle's
Hey, Kyle.
here. Yeah, big fan. Good content. Greg, how many flights have you had since your first flight back on November 14th? November 24th, 2019.
Probably going to be quite unpopular with the answer, but I actually don't know. I'm not really keeping track. Most of my flights I've recorded, so I can go back on my hard drives and probably figure out almost to the minute how much flying time I've got. It's probably not even 50 flights at this point. I mean, yeah. When I flew Pinal Air Park in Arizona and a bunch of the other stuff, like the recent film that just came out over the Eye of Grande, that probably wasn't even my 25th flight. That was yeah. It's been crazy how many amazing opportunities we've had in the very early days of our first flights. It's kind of mind-blowing actually, because a lot of these flights that we've been doing, that some of them are real bucket list flights, and people dream about doing stuff like this for years before they get the opportunity to do it. So we feel very, very blessed that we've had the opportunity to have some of these amazing flights so early on in our flying careers, I guess.
I want to ask you a question right away, because the videos that you're making are so amazing. I know you and I have talked separately. You put about 70 hours into some of these very short 3-4 minute videos. I mean, it's dedication. It's not just throw something together and whip it together and you complain about spending 10 hours. You really put your heart and soul into every one of these, and to the point where you could almost argue that these, they're more than professional. What kind of support have you gotten to do this on this amazing YouTube channel of yours?
I think that the biggest support I've had has been moral more than anything else. So I was very fortunate when I came into this sport. I had a background in film production. I was a university lecturer teaching music and film production for many years before I went off and started my own film production business and traveled a lot around the world, mainly with a company called Spartan Race that do these crazy obstacle course races. I got in with those guys early on, and they flew me all over the place making their promo videos. So I came into the sport with that kind of knowledge base already there. So that the biggest support I've had has very much been moral. And I mean, the very first person that that really encouraged me to take this further than just making some videos for my family back in England was Anthony Vella, who phoned me up after my second video went out where I talked about the Insta360, and I think he was interested in getting into that, using that system. And he phoned me up. We've been chatting a little bit on Facebook, not much, but then he just Facebook called me and just said, watch your first video, really enjoyed it, and really encouraged me to actually start taking it a bit more seriously, which I did. And it just kind of exploded from there. Then I met you guys very early on, and you had me on the show. And so that and then Kylo Glee as well, and a bunch of other people. There's so many people I could mention. And every person that gets involved with me and makes a nice comment and says, that meant a lot to me, or, that inspired me, or thanks so much, thanking me for making the videos. It spurs me on to do more. And it's grown into a thing that I really, really believe is become much bigger than myself.
I know you, just like myself, just like everybody out there, your time is very valuable, and you certainly want to, getting a couple cents here and there from YouTube. You'd like to get a little bit more than that. So here's what we're going to do. Jared Kelton has made a donation to the show of $9.99. And Jared, thank you so much. I appreciate everybody that donates to the show in the super chat. But here's what we're going to do a little something different tonight. Those super chats do go to support the show in a lot of different ways. We have the amazing sponsors that you saw at the top of the show. But here's what we're going to do for you tonight, Greg. For every donation that comes in through super chat, Google takes a third, and then the rest of it goes to the host of the show. Anything that comes in tonight, that remaining amount, you're going to get half of it. So if you want to support,
really? Okay, thanks.
Tonight, you want to do it right away through the super chat. You can do that tonight, and this show will go. Your donations, portions of your donations, are going to go towards supporting Greg and his endeavors with this. By the way, Greg has his name up there, and everybody else has their middle name. Which I didn't know if you knew this. All of our middle names is Anthony. That's a pretty amazing thing.
It's a bizarre coincidence.
Yes. Yeah. So again, thank you, Jared, for that donation. Half of that is going to go to support Greg Anthony Harris and his amazing YouTube channel. So there you go. But yeah, I mean, if there's any other ways that people can support you, or now or in the future, please let us know, because what you're doing.
Yeah. Actually, I've been toying with the idea for a while. I thought about the Patreon thing kind of early on, and things like that. I just wanted to really see where it was going, and if it was going to eventually start costing me, money to actually do this stuff, significant amounts of money. And in the early days, it really didn't, because we spent a long time not flying and not realizing how expensive things can get when you start traveling around and stuff. And so yeah, I've been toying with the idea of doing like a Patreon for a while, and I think I'm going to pull the trigger on that fairly soon. I'll do an announcement at some point, I think, just to help out a bit. Like at the minute, Cynthia and I are really financing all of the traveling and everything ourselves, and it can be a little bit on the expensive side to do these things. So any even if it's just like, getting the odd tank of gas here or there, or covering our coffees one morning or something, that would be that'd be cool. So yeah, I'll set that up at some point, I think.
That's great news, because Para Perspective just put a question in the chat. Says, does Greg Anthony Harris have a Patreon or PayPal to donate to? So,
oh wow, yeah. So yeah, I made a Patreon about 8 or 9 months ago, and it's just been sat there hiding because I just didn't feel ready to. At the time, I wasn't spending enough money on this project to really warrant that. But as the other YouTubers that do this, I think this stuff can, we put a lot of time and a lot of effort into the videos, and we do it because we love it. That I can't not do this. I've said this to you before. I have to do this. I really feel like this is my destiny, to just to have these adventures, make videos, and try and find a way to just do those things. And every time I have to go off and do a freelance film project, it takes me away from this, and I don't want anything to take me away from this. So that's my thinking, is that eventually maybe I could turn this into something where I just do this and I can do more of it, and a higher production level and stuff like that. And that's become the dream. In the last 18 months, actually, now. And every morning I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, I get a coffee, I'm at my desk by about 5, and it's all about this. Like I absolutely adore it.
Well, I want to tell you, Jared Kelton just donated an additional $10.
Oh my God.
Linda Anderson, the
Amazing.
paramom of the world, donated $5. Chris Fenimore donated an interesting $5.77. Ray,
Really? Okay.
your buddy Ray Pierce from
Ray, hey, of course, yeah, my brother.
Donated 10.
Oh my God, thanks.
Coming up on my screen is just the flying. I don't know if that's some flying from me. I don't know. It just says the flying. It's not giving me a full name here. $5 there. I think I got everybody. I hope I didn't miss anybody.
Wow. Oh my God, guys.
Oh, that's
incredible.
awesome. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
So some gas money right there.
Flying Dohertys. Oh, I love them. Okay. I know the Flying Dohertys personally. There was another question from Kyle Oakley.
Yes.
How many years have you lived in Canada?
Oh, on and off for about 7 years, but full time about 3 now.
And according to Canada law, how long do you need to live in Canada before ending every other sentence with A?
Actually, it depends on which part of Canada you're in. See, I live in Quebec, where a lot of people speak French. So what the French Quebecers, when they speak French, usually do is they end almost every sentence with le. So they speak a bunch of French and then they say le at the end. So it's and le is like there, the word there. So how you doing there? What's going on there? There is there. So that's kind of the French Quebecer a, if you like, is the word there. So I'll probably start doing that. But there's a chance we might end up moving out west at some point, Cynthia and I. So I'll let you know, Kyle. It's probably not going to be too long though.
Greg, it's all a oot and a boot about perspective and etiquette, okay? Got to get it right.
Exactly.
Well, I'll tell you this. Mark H. just donated $30 and says, keep them coming. Kyle O'Glee, do I have to read this? Wow. Kyle O'Glee donated $35. Thank you, both of you. And he writes,
tell you what, Kyle, I'll take you out for tacos. How about that? I'll buy you tacos with your own money. Thanks, brother. Oh man, I really appreciate that. That's
Cynthia
amazing.
A cup of coffee. I think I read all of it. It kind of deleted there.
Yeah.
Perspective One, right? $10. Perspective One. Okay, I'll do a little now and a little more later. John Wayne, thank you. John Wayne, $19.99.
My God.
Tyler Valls, who just won a gift from us last week, says looking forward to great videos. He donated $15. That's awesome. Thank you.
Wow, guys! Oh my goodness,
awesome. Very
incredible.
Cool. I don't want to keep interrupting the show, but I will interrupt the show. For
okay,
that.
Yeah. Oh my God. This is so
hey, we got Paramotor Depot. He says he's proudly watching from Quebec.
Oh,
awesome. Yes. Okay. Excellent.
Very, very cool. So you mentioned Cynthia. So in one of the recent videos, we saw Cynthia land. Well, she tried to take off and it didn't go so well. Tell us how she's doing.
She's good. She was shaken up by what happened there. It was a tough one because we went to the LZ and it was the day we were flying Pinal Air Park, and anybody who knows about Pinal Air Park, I mean, it's really one of the top flights. I think in the US, certainly top 10. You get to fly over these jets that are just kind of parked out in the desert. They've either been waiting to be broken up or they're in storage. And there's a lot in storage right now because of COVID. So when you get to the LZ, you see this Boeing 747 fuselage. The wings are off of it, just kind of sat just over there. And then way in the distance, you just see tails everywhere, just airliner tails sticking up. So it's just beckoning you to go fly it. And we were so excited to do this. We've been dreaming about doing this one. So Cynthia just had an awful time trying to take off. She had a bunch of failed launches. And so she told us to take off. So we took off and we just kind of circled around and gave her own space so that she could, get in the zone and take off. And it just didn't work out for her. She was having too much trouble. She was on a new wing that she wasn't really used to. It was nil wind, and the wing really requires more of a headwind for a really good takeoff. She'd taken off with that wing a bunch of times, no problem whatsoever. But just that day, you have those days where it's not your day, and that was the day where it just wasn't her day. So she told us to go on. We went on. I mean, if you've seen the video, you already know the story. But then at the end of the day, she tried one more time, and it's always that one more time. And the wind had completely died off. And she was just so desperate to get in the sky to experience this flight. And I was egging her on too. I was like, oh, Sin, you have to try this. Like, you really have to see this. So I feel partly responsible because I put that pressure on to get her in the sky as well. So we just made a bunch of mistakes that day. She went to take off and she pulled way too much brake. I mean, imagine, like, you're so desperate to get in the sky and you're running and the wing isn't pulling you up. So you're like, what do I do? What do I do? So she just kept pulling a little bit more brake, a little bit more brake. And she buried the brakes too much. She got off the ground, and then the wing quickly fell back and went parachutal. And then she came back down. And I haven't been able to watch that footage for a while. I watched it a couple of times because I got the footage, and that's why in the videos I cut around that footage. It's not. I will at some point. We're going to make a video talking about what happened there in more detail and talking to people that know way more than we do because we're still noobs. So I can't just sit here and say, like, I know exactly what happened there. I know roughly what happened there, and there's probably more to it, way more to it than that. But the fact is, the reason I cut around that footage in those two videos is I can't watch it. Like, I don't like watching footage of my girlfriend almost really, really hurting herself badly. Like, it's just not pleasant to watch. So I've kind of I put an embargo on that footage for my own sanity for now. And later on, when I feel like I can kind of come at it from a less emotional state, I'll then go back and watch it again, and we can talk to a few other peeps and get some good advice on exactly what happened and exactly how we can make sure that never happens again. But I think the crux of it is she just pulled too much brake in desperation.
I really appreciate that answer too. And here's why. We see a lot of videos of people crashing or getting hurt, and it makes entertainment, and it's what people want to see because it's cool. Now, but we also watch it to learn from it as well. But I think you bring up a great point that there's other people who do watch these videos that maybe they're not paramotor pilots, but they're spouses and their children. And there's parents. Yeah. And I know if I got hurt, my wife's not going to want to watch that video. So it's I think when we put out videos, anybody that puts out videos, that you really take that into consideration before what you post out. I want to thank Jim Furman. He says, "Oh my G." Oh, this was very clever. He put, "Oh my God, GAH." It's "Oh my Greg Anthony" here. So $24.99.
Oh my God.
That was really clever, Jim. I really like that a lot. And then Chris Fenimore, another $4.33. And
you guys are incredible.
Our friend Harley Milne, $9.99 from Harley. How you doing,
Harley,
buddy?
yeah.
I'm gonna give you a call. I got to give you a call and catch up with you. Cool.
I just want to let you know that I put Harley Mills' name in there 4 times because, well, it's Harley.
No, everybody gets it.
Yeah.
But if you're just tuning in right now, we are doing the super chat, and half the proceeds are going to go help support Greg Anthony Harris on these amazing, beautiful videos he makes. And I'm kind of liking this idea. It's making my wheels turn. And I'm thinking that we might start doing this more every week. So like if someone says, "Hey, I'm a big supporter of Resurgence PPG," maybe that week we donate half the proceeds to Resurgence. It's just a great way to raise some money for people. I love the idea. Speaking of these videos, you've got these niches. You've got what I kind of see as 2 niches in these videos, just these amazing, beautiful videos, which is all of them. But you've kind of taken a new direction that nobody else in the paramotoring world has really, really gotten deep into, and that's the VR videos. Tell us why you decided to do this, and also tell us how long does it take to really put something like this together?
Yeah, okay. Well, the second answer is a fairly long one, so I'll do the first one first. I'm a huge believer in virtual reality. I got into it very early on. I 3D printed, designed and 3D printed my own 7 GoPro holder back in the day, where you had to press record on all 7 of the GoPros, and then you had to use like a dog clicker. You know, those dog clickers that you get when you're training dogs, and because it would let out a really high pitched snap, and you just sync all 7 cameras up to that sound. And then afterwards you take all 7 streams, all 7 memory cards out, and put them in 7 different folders on the computer, and then drop all of that footage into a piece of software that would then stitch all of the lines together. This was back in like 2010. I was using like GoPro 3s, I think, something like that. And I've just been experimenting for years and years and years and waiting for it to really take off. And I bought the first Oculus development kit headset and gave it to a friend of mine because I had no idea what I was doing, and said, can you just make me some stuff? Because I was obsessed with the idea that maybe this could become a thing. And now with Oculus bringing out the Quest 1 and the Oculus Quest 2, I really start to feel that momentum going. And I'm just massively excited about the fact that, you know, when we fly, we have these amazing adventures and we come home and we want to tell everybody about it. Like, oh, you should have been there. It was amazing. Or I wish you could have been there with me. It was incredible. Well, I've now got this opportunity with the camera that I use to not only make a regular video where the camera points out forwards, just like a GoPro, but it's a 360 camera. So at the same time, I can take that data and I can create a VR film. And then people can wear, you know, just a VR headset like this, and they can actually have that flight experience. It's not exactly the same, obviously, but it's a step closer. So it's another way that I can just share this incredible thing that we do with people that maybe they're on the fence with it, and maybe this would help them to get into it, and it could then change their lives, which is, I think, my biggest mission is I want as many people doing this as possible, because I know how much it changed my life, completely changed my life. And I know how much it's changed other people's lives, certainly through Resurgence PPG, that I spent time with those guys in Arizona, like fundamentally changed people's lives for the better. And there's people out there right now, you know, maybe they're having a hard time, maybe they're going through like financial difficulties with what's going on right now. Maybe they're going through a tough divorce, or their business is failing, whatever like that. And I know for me, I was going through a bit of a tough time in my life when I discovered paramotoring. And I'm not kidding you. In the 1 week period between discovering paramotoring and deciding to get into it and watching all the videos, Tucker and stuff like that, in that 1 week period, I was no longer depressed. I was no longer anxious. I started to look towards the future. I was excited about my life again in that 7 days. So just in the anticipation of doing this sport can make a huge difference to your psychological well-being, into your head, into your heart. Just in the anticipation, could take a year, could take 2 years. But if every day you wake up and go, you know what, I'm going to do this, I don't care how, I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to do it, that can really make a huge change in your life. So this is the best medicine. I think this is the best medicine you could take if you've got an interest in aviation and you want to take your whole life to the next level. Like, yeah.
Well,
that's a really long answer.
That's all right. I loved the video today, and I had my family watching it so that they could feel what it's like to actually be there. That's probably my favorite video of yours, the one that came out today. Amazing. We'll fly.
I'm happy with it.
We'll fly $5 in to the super chat. Robert Byler, another $9.99, and Chris Fenimore, $13.13, asking 1313 Mockingbird Lane, who lives at that address? You know who lives there. Psycho, right?
Who?
Dave?
Herman.
Yeah, the Monsters.
Oh, you're
The
right.
Monsters.
Psycho. Yes, the Monsters. Well, listen, we're at the midway point, about 9:30 right now. Why don't we give away, if you're just tuning in, we've got Greg Anthony Harris. You may not reckon him. He's usually wearing a buff. We got yelled at because we look ridiculous. But we've got a couple of buffs from Fly PPG that we're going to give away tonight. In just a moment, I'm going to show you how to put these things on.
Would it be okay if I just quickly go and grab myself a quick drink while you're getting into that? Is that okay?
Fine. Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah,
Thanks. Okay.
So I'm going to take one of these out so you can see it here. So I can figure out how to open this. And there we go. So got the buff here, and just slip your head through this. And kind of put it on your head. And,
Do you want one?
what? Oh yeah, Greg, I'll take a beer. Thank you. Get me a beer.
Ripper, do you want a beer?
Oh, thanks.
Dave?
Yeah, if you don't mind, that'd be great. Yeah.
Greg Anthony Harris, getting me a beer.
Thank you, buddy.
Spell.
Appreciate that.
Oh, you got you too.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks, Greg.
All right, cheers, boys.
Get back on the show, buddy. Cheers. Okay, that was cool.
All right.
So we're going to spin the wheel for buff, and we'll do it once at the end of the show as well. Dave, you want to go ahead and spin that wheel there?
Yeah, I can do that. Let me
Sure way, man.
get a few things going on here. Let's see here.
It's hilarious.
And there we go.
There we go. All
Who's
right.
gonna win a
Here are
buff?
the names. Man, that thing is ice cold. Appreciate that.
That's nice. Thank you. Cheers. All right, spin it, Dave.
All right, here we go. Round and round she goes. Yeah, there we go. Yankee Paramotor,
Yankee
congratulations. You are the winner of a new do-rag.
Yankee.
Wow.
Congratulations. That's awesome. Thank you, Dave, for doing that. Keep making comments. Dave will keep putting your names in the chat. And I don't know if Yankee knows how to put a buff on.
Congratulations.
I can show him.
Yankee.
Yeah.
You want to see?
Wait a minute. You're going to give everybody a lesson right now on how to properly put a buff on Greg Anthony Harris way.
Hang on a minute. There's a way to do it. Actually, there's many different ways to do it. This is the most common, I think. So grab your buff like this.
Yankee says
Super
it'll cover
important.
up his ball spot.
Flip your hair back like that. Then bring it up like that. Make sure that the buff logo is above your left eye because you got to look cool. And then just pop that like that over the top of the ears. And then you take the top part. Hold on. Take the top part like this, and then you fold it around once, and then pop it around the back and tuck it in.
Awesome. There it is. Now we recognize that is Greg Anthony Harris now. I do
Make sure your line is nice and level as well. That's it.
Thank you, Greg. And thank you again coming all the way in from Canada through my back door here to give us a beer and give Dave a beer. That's awesome.
Yeah, that was great.
You're magical. It's the magic of the movies with Greg, right?
Well, I mean, there's a few reasons why we're here in Ohio. One is that we're doing this Wright brothers series, and we wanted to do some filming. Obviously, Dayton, Ohio is where the Wright brothers are from. So we visited the graves. We visited the bicycle shop, the many different locations because they had different locations for bicycle shops over the years. Then they ended up in 1127 West 3rd Street between 1897 and 1905, I think, which is that was years that they actually developed the aircraft. So we went to the site. It's not there anymore. The Henry Ford Museum bought the shop and moved it brick by brick to the Henry Ford Museum. So it's just like a big empty lot. You've got all these shops either side and then just this big grass patch where the shop used to be. And they've now got like a park there. So we went and had a look there. So we've done some filming there. And the other reason we came is to visit with Dave and his family and help him move house, which has been really cool. And also Rip has been building out the basement. I've been helping him today. We had a great time doing that. I've been learning how to put walls up and stuff. So we've just been having a great time down here. Yeah.
And I know Brennan got the opportunity to go with you and Cynthia up to Dayton. And I think it was your dad or your mom. I was talking to them and they had said that for as long as they could remember, this was something that was really important to you, being able to go and pay homage and go to their graveside. So tell me what it was like for you to be there in that moment. How much time did you spend there? What was going through your mind? I mean, can you imagine anybody?
Yeah.
Think about us as paramotor pilots or any pilot.
Yeah.
And what we owe to the Wright brothers. And now you're standing right in front of them.
I can't really talk enough about how much of an inspiration that the Wright brothers have been to me. When I was studying at university, when I was 18 years old, I'd have to get on a train and travel for about 90 minutes to the town where my university was, and then 90 minutes back. And I did that for 4 days a week. And I read every single letter that the Wright brothers ever wrote to their sister and to their father, and to Octave Chanute and to Samuel Langley of the Smithsonian Institute, and a few of the others of the time, Curtis as well. I read everything twice. These huge books, 2 volumes of all the letters they wrote, and I kept reading them on this train journey, on the way down, on the way back, and I just studied them. I wanted to know that all the intricacies of their story, because it just touched me so deeply what they'd achieved. And so for a very long time, since I was probably about 9 or 10 years old, when I really started to get into aviation big time, I said, one day I'm going to go and visit the graves and just say thanks. I'm sorry. It makes me kind of emotional, because it's a huge thing for me to be able to actually do that. So yeah, sorry. Yeah.
I want to touch a little deeper, because I have a question that you weren't expecting. And this is the question. When you were younger, childhoodish, okay, 100th anniversary of the first flight.
Yeah.
Where were you and what were you doing?
Okay, I was at Duxford Aviation Museum, which is in, I think it's Cambridgeshire.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Duxford.
How old were you and where were you supposed to be?
Oh God, I hate you so much. It was 2003, obviously, because it was 1903, December 17th, 11:25 in the morning, North Carolina time. I can't remember exactly what that was, my time in the UK. I was at Duxford Aviation Museum. I think I should have been at university. Yeah, I was supposed to be at university, and I think I snuck down there is what happened, and just spent the day. I was there was in the museum, beautiful museum. They had on the wall of the museum, it's enormous. It's the photograph that was taken at the exact moment that they lifted off is on the wall. It's absolutely enormous, and I sat there and just stared at it from about 11:15 to about 11:30, I think, just to be in that moment, Yeah. So sorry, Mum and Dad, for skipping school, but it had to be done. It had to be done.
Well, I think that really goes to show how much the Wright brothers really mean to you. This isn't just a hobby or sport. This is your way of life, and you communicate that through your videos too, and your passion. So I want to go back to what we talked about at the top of the show. Yes, Nick Griffith, Greg is at my house, and so is John. As Greg was just saying, this is the promoting community. Good friends, Dave Ruff. Good friends will come to help you.
Oh,
hey, I was never invited.
You know what? As Dave says at the end of every after show, I got to go milk the cows, guys. So he's very busy too, and I know he would be here if he could. By the way, speaking of, we're all exhausted. There's probably not going to be an after show tonight, because if you look at our eyes, we've been working since Friday morning, and we're just spent.
Yeah.
So we started to talk about, you can give a little brief of where you've been. You've had some amazing trips with Harley, with Resurgence, all of this. I wanted to ask you, give me a brief, but tell me what has been the most epic flight for you so far. Again, it's under 50 flights, we know that, but what's been the most impactful flight where you landed and maybe even brought you to tears?
So the brief journey, I guess. So we did Israel last February, just before the whole COVID thing really kicked off. I think we came back, and a week later, everything went into lockdown, but we just managed to squeeze in Israel. Before that happened, the Dead Sea, we were there with APCO Aviation, filming a bunch of promos for them professionally. It was actually a gig, if you like, which is great. It was fun, and we did lots of flying down there. I didn't fly a paramotor, and neither did Cynthia, but we were flown out there. So I was in a powered parachute, was on a foot launch tandem rig, and flew over the Dead Sea, as you've probably seen, which was just stunning. And then from there, we ended up going to Michigan to fly my PPG to do our full training there, or Cynthia's full training, and for me to do some catch up, because I hadn't been in the sky for a while. And those guys just were incredible. And then we came up to Canada for a while, and then we went down. When we were in Michigan, we met Todd, who we just love to bits. He's amazing. And he invited us personally to come down to the Arizona trip. So we started saving our pennies to get the tickets and stuff. And then we went down there and just had the most wonderful time with the Resurgence guys, and traveled across Arizona and heard some of the amazing stories of some of those candidates. I mean, just these guys are just amazing humans. And the effect that learning to fly has had on them as well. And then what did we do after that? We went back to Canada. No, we didn't. Then we went to, so much has happened. It's overwhelming to think of how much has happened. So after Arizona, we then flew up to San Diego, and we hung out with Anthony Paragringo for a few days. And then we met Harley Milne, and we jumped in his camper and we followed him with the team all the way across from San Diego, beach in San Diego, all the way down to Florida, Jacksonville, Florida, the beach there, and watched Harley land. And that was an incredible adventure that we're going to be making a documentary about as well. So, and that's going to be a huge undertaking to get that documentary out, because I really want to make that a feature length. We want to try and get this out on Netflix potentially, because I think it's got that gravity, that just so much happened on that trip. It has to be told right, that one. So that's and then we went back to Canada. Then we come back down here. Now we've been in Florida with Fly My PPG One-Up Adventures at Wauchula. We got to meet Rick Davies, PPG Gorilla, and all the guys down there, and had a great time with them. And then we came up here to Ohio, and we've been here ever since. And then we're going to be heading back down to Florida after this for the next round of classes with One-Up Adventures and Fly My PPG, where we're going to be doing a bunch more filming with those guys and a bunch more flying as well to get the hours up. And then from there, who knows? I mean, so much has happened, and I wake up every morning and I have a moment and I'm like, what's going to happen today? Because it's just been utterly mind-blowing so far and totally unexpected. The whole lot has been so unexpected. My favorite flight, I think it was probably Pinal. It's bittersweet because obviously that was it was the 24th of November, which was exactly a year since my first flight. And I was even flying. I was in the sky at the same moment that I was in the sky for my first flight. I made sure I timed it so that those two moments were linked forever, if you like. So that was great. It was also Cynthia and I's 3rd year anniversary that day. And it was the first anniversary, if you like, of Cynthia's first pretty major crash as well. So it's bittersweet that day, but will forever be remembered. It's a very emotional day, that one. But Pinal is just, it's so extraordinary to be flying over that many aircraft just parked there with the tail sticking up. And it's really, and to be able to fly down a line of 747s where you're lower than the cockpit of the 747 is just, there's no words. I could make 100 films about that flight and still not get even close to how amazing it is. It's just mind-blowing stuff. That one, Pinal, yeah, I think.
Well, like you said earlier, you want to be able to take people with you, and that's why you do the videos. And I'm watching videos. I'm turning to my wife Jenny, going, "Oh, I gotta go there. That's just amazing. I love them. They're awesome." And by the way, little known fact: Greg Anthony Harris, when he was on our show the first time, had less than 1,000 subscribers, and that night he was put over the 1,000. And now he's got about 3,600, I think. 3,600.
35 and change, I think. Which again is very surprising and incredible, really, to think how it's grown.
Yep.
A little bit of a ways before I get to 1 million, but we're working on it, working hard.
Oh, I was just going to say, I know Dave has said this to me. I know I've said it to him and to other people. You will cross 1 million. You watch.
Yeah, I just hope I'm not 92 years old when it happens.
No, it'll happen quickly, dude. Your productions are amazing. It will happen probably in the next 2 years. Mark my words.
Oh, I hope so. Because at that point, you can actually you can just do this and only this and nothing else, which is absolutely my waking dream. Every day when I wake up, that's my dream, is to get to that point. I've got no real aspirations of becoming one of these like YouTube millionaires or anything like that at all, but just to be able to pay my way in the world by making videos on my own terms. Because when I'm making videos to pay the bills, it's not glamorous. It's training videos for plastics manufacturers and real estate videos of, like, you know, sort of like these huge grotesque mansions and stuff like that, like stuff that pays the bills. And I'm grateful for this work, but you know, it's very difficult to really put your heart and soul into something that you don't have a strong connection with, like I do with flying, which is why I put so much time into it. I mean, you're talking, Dave, about how much time I put into the VR stuff. It's about 20 hours per minute. I've got it down to. So for my latest video, which is 3 minutes and 3 seconds, was 60 something hours to process it. That's not just to edit it. That's just after I've done the edit, to process that footage to create an 8K super high res, high definition, high dynamic range video that's stitched properly and everything and works, and the bit rate's just right so it doesn't buffer too much in your headset, that kind of thing. It's been a fine balancing act to get that right, and I got it down to about 20 hours per minute, and I'm hoping to get it down to about 15, but right now I'm happy with 20. And I'm willing to put that much time into it because the feedback I'm getting from people is that they're really, it's touching them. They're able to do this stuff. And I've got, you know, my third biggest demographic on my channel is Japan, because the Oculus headsets, I think, come out in Japan first, in that part of the world first. So when the new Oculus Quest came out, I got a bump in views from the Japan demographic, because they're tuning in and watching in VR. It's very, very popular out there, which is surprising to me. I only learned that a few months ago when I looked at my analytics and started to learn exactly how analytics work. And I'm like, God, my third biggest demographic's Japan. Who knew? It was great.
So we have a couple questions in the chat I wanted to get to, but first I want to remind everybody, if you are coming in late to the show, we are raising some money tonight to help support Greg's efforts in these amazing videos. Half the proceeds from tonight's show will go to Greg Anthony Harris. So if you have an opportunity to do a donation, the super chat, you can do that. Also, Greg does have an amazing website we didn't talk about, greganthonyharris.com.
Oh yeah,
and
thanks.
I should go get my poster, my picture back there. Maybe Cynthia could grab it and we could show it. She can come sit next to me if she's, I don't know,
Alaska.
if she's wearing around. But you can
get.
Hang on, I'll mute myself. Carry on.
Okay, thank you. Yes, I'll carry on, sir. You can go ahead and get one of these amazing pictures. The one I have is from the Dead Sea. It's absolutely gorgeous. Hopefully Cynthia will be able to join me here and display that to you, but you can get that there. Now, Greg, I have a question for you. When you make these announcements for the Patreon, are they able to go ahead and go onto the Greg Anthony Harris website, and will they be able to make donations on the Patreon through your website?
Yeah, I'll be putting links in to go through to the Patreon thing when I figure it all out. I haven't had time to kind of finalize that yet, but yeah, I'll do an announcement in a video and on Facebook, and then I'll put a link in my website. Yeah, there it is. That's one of the original prints. I've tweaked it a bit since then, but this is one of the originals.
So let me take the. Oops, I muted myself here so everybody can see it. This is the beautiful prints that I have. This is going up right inside of the door of my house. So I love this. I love this picture. I can't see. Well, look who's here. It's Cynthia Lecompte. Cynthia is here as well. She is our guest, one of our two guests with Allie next week. So tune in back. We're going to be talking about women who inspire in our sport. So that'll be a great episode. Will you join me for the rest of the show?
Oh, sure.
Awesome.
Okay.
So Cynthia's here. Say hello.
Actually, Dave.
Hey, Dave, you've got quite a house full of guests over there.
I do.
It's like,
Who else is coming?
Hey, Dave, could you do me a favor?
Yeah,
Could
go
you
ahead
just-
and turn your video on, Dave.
Could you just go ahead and just slide off to your right and just let Cynthia take the rest of the show? You know, it's,
yeah.
I would, but she doesn't know how to end this show, and that's
No, I don't know.
all right. So Harley Milne, Greg. Harley Milne. Oh, can you hear me, Greg? Oh, 1 second.
Oh.
Cynthia, Harley Milne. So Harley Milne, you guys obviously did the cross country with Harley not too long ago, and coming in real quick, Sandor. Thank you, Sandor. Shandor?
Hi, Shandor.
Shandor, yes. Hey, Shandor.
It's
So
Shandor.
Shandor. He just donated $20. Thank you.
Oh, dude. Thank you so much.
Much love. Harley was here, but he was also here in Cincinnati, and he came through. He was so generous, took me out to lunch, not by his choice, but he took me out to lunch while he was here doing the 50-state challenge. One of the places I highly encouraged him to go to, which you two just went to with my son Brennan, was the National Air Force Museum. Greg, what did you, we're not going to ask you these questions. We might ask them next week. What was your impressions of the National Air Force Museum?
Incredible. Yeah. It's just so enormous. We had 4 hours there, and it was about 34 hours too little. You could easily spend, and at some point we will. I want to spend an entire weekend there, 2 full days easily. You walk in, and it takes you from the very early days all the way through to modern aviation. It's very military based, but when you go to the first hangar, you got it starts with like is it George Cayley and Otto Lilienthal, and then it goes to the Wrights and Octave Chanute and all of the real super early pioneers of aviation. They talk a bit about Huffman Prairie, which is where the Wrights really started to dial in what an aircraft actually is. And that's in Ohio, so we're going to be visiting that as well at some point. And then it just goes all the way through, like the 1930s aviation is something I'm fascinated by with the GB Racer and some of the early racing planes that really a lot of the fighter planes of World War II were born from those racing aircraft that were developed for the Reno air races and all of the air races back in the day and the Barnstormers and stuff like that. Some of these aircraft are just absolute works of art. And they're there. They're just like, you can go and you can go and touch them and look at them and walk around them and read about them. And it's a super geek fest. And I think Cynthia got a little bit bored towards the end, but I wasn't even close to being done with Hangar 1 by the time we had to leave 4 hours later. So she was very patient.
I was kind of bummed that my favorite exhibit you weren't able to go inside, which was Sam 26,000 Kennedy's aircraft. Air Force One. Because of COVID, you couldn't go in. That stinks. But hopefully you'll come back again and be able to see that. Chad B donated $20. Said, Greg Anthony Harris, keep doing what you're doing, brother. Love watching the videos. That's awesome. Thank you, Chad. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thanks, Chad, man. Yeah, really, thank you.
So Paramotor Depot says, Sonny is asking, Greg, are you planning any episodes here in Canada?
So many, and I want you to come along and fly with us as well, Sonny. Sonny is a great friend up in Quebec who he's actually in one of our episodes, maybe in a couple of our episodes, and he really got us into kiting in the early days and really helped us out a lot and got us on the right track so we could then go away back home and practice kiting the right way. So yes, Sonny. So yeah, we got plenty of stuff planned for Canada when we get back, and I'll be in touch because we'd love you to come hang out with us and fly with us. And he's great to hang out with and very knowledgeable pilot as well.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Jeremy. Oh, first of all, Walter Priori. Some help for Greg.
Yes. Hey, Walter.
For the Greg, great show. $5.
Oh, thanks, Walter. It's great. What time is it in Australia right now?
No idea. I don't know what time.
Any idea? I don't know. It's probably tomorrow morning. It's tomorrow morning, isn't it?
Yeah, I was gonna say it's tomorrow right now.
Yeah.
I happened to look down. I saw Tyler writes, your audio is awesome tonight. Look, I'm not using my other microphone. My good microphone. Oh, we'll talk about that later. I thought I saw another question. Oh, Jeremy says, Greg, can you fly in Canada legally? What are your plans to fly in Canada?
Yeah, so Canada, at the moment, we're still not legal in Canada because of my my permanent residence, which was supposed to be sorted out a long time ago, but COVID slowed everything down, and obviously there's lots of people aren't working in the office right now, in the immigration office. They're all working from home, so it's been a pain. It's been a pain to get that all sorted out. Everything's there, everything's in place. We're just waiting for the certificate to come through, and then I can give the certificate to an instructor in Canada who'll get us finalized and finished off. And Cynthia could do it right now, but she's decided to wait for me. So by the time we get back to Canada, which will be April-ish, we'll be ready to rock on that, and we'll get everything finalized and get our ultralight pilots licenses and our insurances and everything, and we'll be ready to go on Canadian adventures. And we've got some pretty big stuff planned. I mean, Canada it's just so vast, that country. There's so much to see, and there's so many different types of environments in one place. So we're really looking forward to exploring Canada. And until then, of course, we can fly legally in America. So that's what we're doing. That's one of the reasons we're getting ourselves down here. And luckily enough, we're still able to get down from Canada. We can't drive across the border, that's closed, the land border, but we can still fly in perfectly fine. So we've been making the most of that. But yeah, I mean, the most important thing is flying from our home field. Obviously, we've got the tiny hangar there, and we've got all our gear ready to go. So it's been a bit of a painful one getting this stuff finished off. But thank goodness we can still fly down in the US right now. Otherwise, we would just be grounded again.
Especially with the cold.
Oh, it's too cold anyway right now. Yeah.
Now, we were all down in Florida last week. Shane, I saw, left a comment there I happened to see, asking if you were in Lake Wales.
We were.
You were, but I don't think you were there at the time that Shane was there. But we talked about earlier about Cynthia's mishap.
Yes.
Has Cynthia, I'm asking like she's not sitting right next to me, has Cynthia flown since then? And I mean, we did a tandem together.
Mm-hmm.
On her own, as if I don't know the question, but I'm asking.
Go on then, Sin. I'm going to hand that over to you. I'll hand that over to you, Sin. Thank you, David, though, for asking me. But that's Sin. Why don't you tell people about your flight in Wachula?
Yeah, no, I did get my flight finally while we were in Wachula, and it was really great to get back in the sky. I think that's something we can talk about in next week's show, right? Yeah, I'll give more details then, but yes, I have gotten back in the sky, and in Wachula was the first flight since that mishap. So it was a bit of a long wait. I knew I should have gotten back on the horse shortly after, but circumstances basically showed that we just didn't have the time to do it.
Yeah.
And but I knew, despite everything that was happening over here, that I really wanted to get back in the sky, and I did, and it felt amazing.
And it was a great launch. It really was a phenomenal launch. She did so good.
I filmed that launch.
Yeah, and all the instructors from Fly My PPG were there, and all giving her moral support and helping her out. And we had all of our favorite people were just there. Sort of to help out and to give moral support. That
reminded me of a question I wanted to ask you. You got a lot of favorite people, but who is your favorite pilot that doesn't own? Who's your favorite pilot in the world running a 501c who supports disabled adaptive veterans in America?
Of course, it's Todd Scandrett.
That's us. There you go.
Absolutely.
So mad.
In fact, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we've flown with Todd a bit as well, and we love hanging out with Todd. He's the energy changes when Todd shows up. It's he's all heart. That guy, he really is.
He is.
Yeah.
I can't believe how fast this hour has flown by. So I'm going to ask you one other question before we get to Dave. By the way, Greg, in case you're not doing anything, Wednesday night at 9:00, Dave hosts this amazing little show called After Dark. and it
After
is
Dark,
on
you know it
Wright
well.
on your channel. Make sure you check it out, Greg Anthony Harris, because it is fun. It is awesome. It's a way to kick back and hang out with your friends on a Wednesday night.
I love it. Yeah, for
that's
sure. I tune in as much as I can, which is
Okay.
almost all the time when I'm not up to my eyeballs in editing. And when I am up to my eyeballs in editing, I have it on the background, but I kind of half pay attention because I'm focusing on the edit. But Dave's always there on Wednesday night somewhere. He's on one of my screens. And we do hang
Greg,
out.
that $20 bill is in the mail for that. Oops, I was supposed to say that. Hey, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that.
Greg, so we've talked about everything you've gone through so far, and really, it really doesn't even scratch the surface. So if you really want to see how amazing this journey has been for Greg and Cynthia both, you got to go back and start watching all of these amazing videos. And I've said it before, you're not going to be disappointed. Greg, certainly, by the way, Ripa happened to point out to me the other day, what the heck do you got on your head, man? Ripa pointed out the other day.
This is my wheel spinning.
Oh, okay.
That's not how you wear a buff, Dave.
The Our Paramotor Nation Facebook page has eclipsed 1,000 members, which is awesome because we just started a couple months ago, it seems. So, Greg, when you are ready to make any announcements, such as how we can support you, I invite you to go ahead and post that onto the Our Paramotor Nation Facebook page. Of course,
Thank
everybody
you very much.
hopefully be following that page and being a part of it. And it's there for you to go ahead and post things as well. Please support our sponsors. Please go to the Our Paramotor Nation website and do that as well. Last question for you then tonight. What's the next year hold? What can you tell us? I'm sure there's some things that you don't want to or can't discuss yet.
There's so much I can't tell you. I'm just trying to figure out what I can tell you. I'll give you a hint as to the kind of projects I'm thinking about. Obviously, we got these expedition series that we do. So we did Expedition Israel, then we did Arizona. We've got the Wright brothers stuff, and that project. Just to go back to it very quickly, I don't know if this is going to be possible, but my goal and my dream is to fly, take off and land from all of the places they took off and landed during their journey. But it goes back further. I want to fly from the hill that Otto Lilienthal flew from. I think he built his own hill, and sadly he lost his life in 1897 in a crash. But I think it's worth honoring him and his contribution to flight because he really inspired the Wrights. So I'd like to fly from that hill in Germany. And then obviously Kitty Hawk and then Huffman Prairie in Ohio. I'd like to go down to there's a showground in Paris where they demonstrated the flying machine, and I think it was 1909, and that was really the year when the world realized, oh, the Wright brothers did actually fly first, and they flew for the king, I think. And there's a showground there where they actually flew, and I'd love to fly from there as well. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get permissions for any of these things, but it's certainly my goal is to reach out to some of these places and see if it's possible to fly from some of these places and just tell their story. And it's been told so many times before, but to tell it from the perspective of our world, the paramotoring world and the ultralight, ultra affordable comparatively form of aviation that we enjoy, and give it kind of a fresh twist, because that was the world that they originally came from. They didn't have a lot of money. They were just bicycle makers. They could barely afford what they were doing. They just scraped the money together to buy the spruce needed to build the aircraft, to give it a go. They just happened to be really smart guys and incredible engineers, and managed to do something that Samuel Langley, who was the head of the Smithsonian at the time, couldn't do with $50,000 of funding from the War Department. It's just mind-blowing to think of what they achieved. So that's that project. And then, there's some, I call them circus tricks, which is episodes that are kind of bottle episodes. It's just one episode. Greg's going to go do this thing, and it's quite an interesting thing. So maybe you should watch. So one thing I want to do is imagine what my channel would be like if it was 1985. So I'm thinking a chase cam with a Super 8 camera on it, and a Polaroid. So when I take pictures of what I'm doing or selfies, it's like an old school Polaroid, and like a head cam, which is like a super early VHS camera, which is it's ridiculous. So those kinds of stupid episodes where it's just like, I wonder, or, how many cameras is too many cameras is another episode idea I've got, and just see how many different camera angles I can film.
That's exactly what I was going to say, Dave. You could ask Gorilla how many cameras is too many. He doesn't know the answer. He just keeps asking more and more.
I might give it a go. I think I can get 18 unique camera angles on a paramotor. I figured it out.
And in Florida, I flew with 3 and I felt dirty.
Right. I can do 18. I know I can do 18. Probably not in one flight because I just don't have many cameras. Unless there's any camera sponsors out there that want to throw me, 18 very small HD cameras, then I'll probably have to do several flights in order to get the 18 camera angles from the one flight. But that's stupid. I call those circus tricks. So it's kind of those fun little bottle episodes, which is just 9 minutes of pure joy and madness.
I gotta tell you, there's another person that makes videos, and he has several camera angles. And Greg, if you haven't watched Ripman Ryden's videos,
of course
you gotta check out his YouTube channel, and fabulous stuff. John Ripa.
That was our morning. We were drinking coffee, watching Ripper videos. Actually, no, it was last night.
Thanks, David. I'll give you $20 later.
Greg, did you know he is the love child of Dee Snider and Ray Romano? I don't know if you were aware of that.
I've heard the rumors.
Don't make me play that video.
Oh, please don't. That was a huge mistake of mine. Hey, why don't we spin the wheel one more time? Dave, you got all the names. Did you get Jim CR120 in there in that wheel? Are you sure he's in there? Because I want to make sure he was in there.
Let me double check. Jim CR120 is part of the wheel.
Cool. Thank you, sir.
All right. Let me
take it away.
See if I can get some of this done here. Screen share. There we go. There we go. And there are the names right there. There's your Jim CR120. All right, ready to go? Dave.
Yeah, go, baby, go.
Oh, okay. 1 minute, Dave, 1 minute.
All right.
Congratulations, JR Paramotor. You are the winner of Doo-Doo Duty Do-Rag.
Congratulations, JR.
How about a Fly PPG buff? There you go, JR Paramotor. If you could send me an email, davidwolf51@gmail.com with your name, your address, your head size, and your blood type.
Your credit card number.
Your credit card and your social security and date of birth. I will make sure that gets out to you right away. John, thank you so much. Boy, John Ripa, I hope to see you soon, buddy. Real soon.
Hey, what I want to know is, since you guys are all there, has John put a motor on his back and gone for a flight in Ohio yet?
David, it's 16 degrees here.
Oh, wow.
The last thing I want to do, I don't even want to walk out of the house.
Dude, you got to do it. I mean, you're there. You're going to regret it. You're going to go home and you're going to regret it.
I will not regret it.
I told Greg he could throw my motor on his back and clean my driveway off for me if he wanted to.
What was it your friend Mark said the other day? You chose such a cold month to move house. You had to bring Canadians in to help.
And for all you wondering, Ripa is suffering as much as you could possibly imagine.
Meanwhile, Greg and Cynthia are out there in shorts and short sleeve t-shirts saying, "Oh, this
lovely.
is a great day."
Yeah.
Nothing wrong here. Well, Greg, thank you so much for joining us tonight. Really appreciate it as always, buddy. Dave, thank you for running the wheel. John,
as always, buddy.
Appreciate you guys. And Cynthia, we will see you next week with Allie on the show Sunday night. All right, I think
we'll see Dave on Wednesday.
And Dave on Wednesday on After
Wednesday
Dark.
night, 9 p.m.
All right, guys. No after show tonight. Have a good night. I don't know who's winning the Super Bowl. I don't really care because the Browns aren't playing. But you guys have a great week, a safe week, and we'll see you next week. Have a good one, everybody.
See ya.
Thanks, everybody. Thank you.